Ms. Wilson, what case did you want to call first?
I think we're ready on Clifford Travis. And if the court's willing to take a plea today, I think there is a plea.
I am.
We are set for a hearing on Monday. I think we'll be removing that with resolution today.
And this is a bond violation, right?
Yeah, it's a contempt
It's
for a
contempt hearing.
tether violation. Yep.
All right. Right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00546. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Clifford Travis Jr. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Ms. Sutter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Mr. Travis, who is standing to my right.
And sir, you are Clifford Travis Jr., is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is the time set for a PA 53 violation that I've been led to understand that we're going to do a plea for a case that's set for next week. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Travis is going to plead no contest to the charge in the complaint. There is no agreement to 7694A status, and there is a kilobrew to no upfront jail.
So that's on the underlying count one.
Correct.
PV, and then does any of that have to do? Any of that have to do with the violation of the PA 53?
So I believe we're here on a tether, letting a tether die. It's my understanding that my detective had also submitted a no contact violation. I don't know if that's made it to the court yet. But as to the no contact violation, there is an agreement that the people would not be pursuing that and that we would not be pursuing any witness interference charges from that violation. As to the tether violation, I think if there's a plea today, then we can probably dismiss it, but I would ultimately leave that to the court's discretion.
So the PA 53 violation is part of the kilobrew no upfront jail.
Correct. Yeah.
And a dismissal in regards to that for the no contest plea.
Correct.
Making sure. Yeah, I have the PA 53 as the no contact.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So there's, so Ms. Sutter, I'll restate that. My understanding is that the PA 53 in regards to no contact will be dismissed. There's an agreement that this is a no contest plea to count one. There's no agreement as a 769-4A. And then the no contest, the basis for the no contest will be the Lansing PD arrest report, case number 24519011873. Is that correct?
It is, Your Honor, and with that, I would recommend the dismissal of the bond violation as well as the PA. And if the court needs it, the basis of the no contest is civil liability.
All right, that's your understanding, Mr. Travis, of the agreement as stated? All right. You understand that you face a potential penalty of 93 days and or $500 pursuant to this no contest plea. If I was going to do something differently than the kilobrew no upfront jail agreement, there's the kilobrew no upfront jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I forgot. You'd have the opportunity to withdraw your plea. You understand that, sir? All right, so you have some rights in this misdemeanor no contest plea, and I'm going to walk you through those rights. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, have any witnesses against you appear at trial, to question any witnesses that are brought against you. You're represented by attorney Lauren Sutter today, and she would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you by the people of the state of Michigan. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have the court ordering witnesses appear in your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than what's already been stated on the record, or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'd also give up the right to appeal any issues from a trial. Since you won't be having a trial, you'll be pleading no contest instead. Is it your intent today to plead no contest to this? All right. I'm going to use as a factual basis the report that was previously indicated on its case, and this is the report 245-190-1873 that was provided from Ms. Sutter. Is that correct, Ms. Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor, I think I actually provided it.
Oh, did you?
I don't know if my highlights transferred to the copy that I sent over. If they have, Ms. Sutter and I have stipulated to those highlights.
All right, I don't see any highlights on
Okay,
this.
yeah, I was afraid that might happen.
Could we perhaps borrow your physical copy
Yeah.
to
Sure.
add those highlights? Because it is submitted by Ms. Wilson and we did previously review it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that understanding, I'll review the highlighted material of this occurred on February 28th, 2024, South Cedar, Stratford, the city of Lansing, Ingham County, which would make for location, venue, and date. And the defendant, Clifford Travis, here's that Patricia Tavis, they've been married for 8 years, which makes the domestic portion of count 1. Then I have when Latricia was between the open rear door and the vehicle, Clifford attempted to slam the door on her, hitting her 2 to 3 times. And that appears, at least a fair inference from the factual basis, is that was not done for any, that was done purposely and not done for any self-defense purpose. Anything else? So I find the factual basis to be present in the Lansing Police Department report in regards to no contest plea. Anything else, Ms. Wilson, concerning the factual basis?
Not from the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Sutton.
Nothing from defense.
All right. The factual basis found on no contact plea. I'm going to refer to probation. I'll refer to probation for an entire review of this, but really there's a Killebrew of no upfront jail that I want them to make a recommendation on, obviously. So refer to probation. So probation serves on the 5th floor. It's 1 floor down. Ms. Sutter will give you whatever information you need, but you should go there, and what they'll do is they'll provide a report to me, and then we'll see what options are available to us at sentencing. All right, sir? All right. Sentencing is set for
June 10th at 1:30.
June 10th at 1:30. There is a continued no contact in regards to Latricia Davis. I also find that pursuant to this, until we get to sentencing, that's what I'll do with the PA 53. So the PA 53 is held in abeyance. I'm not going to dismiss it because I don't know what I'm going to do sentencing wise. So I'm not going to, but I understand that it is part of the agreement. But since I don't know what I'm going to do, if I follow the Killebrew agreement, I think this would be dismissed pursuant to the plea agreement. If I don't follow the plea agreement, then I think Mr. Travis should have the opportunity to be heard on that. So sentence. Okay, part of plea. All right, so I will see you, Mr. Travis, on June 10th at 1:30. Anything else for the record in 24-00546, Ms. Wilson?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe Ms. Sutter just informed me that she's going to be out during that time. I don't know if she's going to find someone to cover or if she wants a new date. I'll leave that to Ms. Sutter, I guess.
Ms. Sutter.
I believe on the sentencings, I've been advised to try and find coverage for them. Other cases I may be asking to be adjourned, but sentencings, I'll be trying to get covered.
All right. Just let us know, okay?
Will do, absolutely.
Okay. So we're still set for June 10th at 1:30. Keep in contact with your attorney, Ms. Sutter. She'll let you know if that date changes, okay, sir?
And
All
I
right.
did have one additional thing. If you
All right, Ms. Sutter.
This is not a formal request as of yet. I suppose it's just a heads up. Mr. Travis will be making a request shortly to briefly leave the state. He has an out-of-state custody case where he is going to pick up his children. He will be providing me with specific location, reason for travel, and dates he will be gone that I'll be submitting to the court as soon as we have that.
All right, make sure probation gets any of that.
Absolutely.
And then I'll hear from them. But that shouldn't be an issue as long as you make documentation of the out-of-state travel, okay, sir? All right, but make sure probation gets all that because they're going to be the ones who contact me. All right, anything else for the record, Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. That's all for the record, 24-00546. And I'll return the
Thank you.
news report. What case did you want to call next, Ms.?
I think we're ready on Mr. Davis.
Multiple Davis.
Dana
So-
Davis.
Dana Davis.
I don't even have what it was. Oh.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00847. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Dana Davis. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson,
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Ms. Wanji.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm going to be wanting for Mr. Davis.
And sir, you are Dana Davis, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the people have reviewed the evidence in this matter, and we don't think at this time we're able to sustain our burden. So we will be requesting a dismissal without prejudice.
All right. So at this time, Mr. Davis, the people are unable to proceed with the case. That means the case is going to be dismissed. I'll print one of those out and Ms. Wilson can sign it. This is dismissed without prejudice, which means the people could reissue if they choose to, but for our purposes today, the case is dismissed. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll wait to sign that after Ms. Wilson does.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. Thank you. So I'm in a possession of a order of dismissal or a nollie cross on 24-00847. And based on the representations of the assistant prosecutor, this case is dismissed without prejudice. Anything else on the record? 24-00847. Ms. Wilson.
Not from the people.
Ms. Wanji.
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, you're all set, Mr. Davis. Thank you for your appearance.
Thank you, sir.
And then I believe we're ready on McClurkin.
And so we're on the record in docket 24-00755. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Savitra McClurkin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Ms. Wanji.
And I want you for Miss.
And ma'am, you are Savitra McClurkin, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination today. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have the necessary witnesses to proceed today. I expect a motion from the defense.
Ms. Wanji.
And I would ask the case to be dismissed.
And the witnesses were subpoenaed?
He was subpoenaed and we have had contact. It is not cooperative.
All right, so I'll have a motion to dismiss from Ms. Wanji printed out. I am in possession of docket Nolly Process order of dismissal in docket 24-00755. Based on the assistant prosecutor's representations, this case is dismissed without prejudice, which means that people could reissue if they choose to, but realistically today, the case is all dismissed. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you, sir.
All right. I will sign that accordingly. Anything else for the record? 24-00755, Ms. Wilson.
Not from the people. Thank you.
Ms. Wanji.
Nothing for the defense.
All right, Ms. McClurkin, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
And then if we can do Mr. Ray, I believe that's going to be a waiver.
All right. Darian Ray. How are you, Mr. Yang?
Good morning, Your Honor.
So we're on the record in docket 24-00104. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Darian Ray. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson from the people.
Mr. Yang.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Yang on behalf of Mr. Darian Ray, who is president to my right.
Sir, you are Darian Ray? Okay, thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination day. Ms. Wilson, you indicated this is going to be waiver. How are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, I believe this is going to be a waiver of the preliminary exam. If the defendant is waiving, the people also unconditionally waive.
So this is a bind over as charged with negotiations to continue.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Yang, is that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor, I have had a discussion with my client and he understands his rights to preliminary examination. He is prepared to unconditionally waive that today to continue negotiations in circuit court.
All right, thank you. May I inquire of your client of the waiver?
Yes, Your Honor.
Make sure to get this. Mr. Ray, you understand that you have a right to a preliminary examination today. A preliminary examination is a probable cause hearing in which the people would have to prove by probable cause evidence that a crime has been committed and the identity of the person who committed that crime. You are represented by attorney Mr. Yang today, and he would be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought by you by the people of the state of Michigan. It is my understanding it is your wish to waive your prelim today on the charge and have negotiations continue in circuit court, which is a trial court. Your time in district court will be done. Is it your wish today to waive your right to a preliminary examination as charged?
Sure.
Okay. And the people have indicated that they waive their right to a preliminary examination.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. I have the bind over documentation. And I'll have the parties sign that as best they can.
Yes. Yeah, if you could. Thank you.
All right, I'm in possession of the Nolly Pros concerning, I'm sorry, Nolly Pros, the bind over as requested on 24-00104. I'm going to indicate that the examination has been waived on today's date. It's 4/12/2024. Anything to come to the court's attention concerning the bind over, Ms. Wilson?
Not from the people.
Mr. Yang?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll sign the bind over accordingly. And sir, your next date will come from your attorney, Mr. Yang. It'll be in circuit court. Your time in district court is done. All right, sir? All right, thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Yang.
And then I believe we're ready on Ms. Wheeler. If Mr. Palmer's ready.
Right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00200. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Janisha Wheeler. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Palmer.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Palmer, Public Defender's Office, on behalf of Ms. Wheeler, who stands to my right.
And ma'am, you are Janisha Wheeler, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination today. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. So my complaining witness is here by Zoom today. She is out of state and was not able to make it back for the hearing today. My officer was earlier this week involved in a critical incident, and per his command, he's on leave currently, taking some time to decompress from the incident. So at this time, the people would be requesting an adjournment.
All right, Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Obviously, the defense is prepared to go forward today, and we would ask for a dismissal based on lack of probable cause, but certainly I understand the prosecution's.
All right. So the CV is here by Zoom. If you ask for an adjournment today, and we're talking about the officer involved in this case, I understand that they're on some
Yes.
a mental leave, that they had some, there may have been physical injuries, but they were slight.
I'm not at liberty to
All right.
discuss it right now because it's in the middle of an
It's ongoing?
ongoing case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we were to adjourn the matter and find just cause to adjourn, the complaining victim, either the officer would be here. I'd leave you to your proofs, but I do think Miss Pereira would, either if she's going to testify, she'd have to be here.
She would have to be in person. I think at this time for the preliminary exam, we don't intend to call the complaining witness. I think I can make my probable cause through my officer. But like I said, he's on leave right now.
All right.
Through no fault of his own, my dad.
Right. I'm somewhat familiar with that case. I'll find just so the defendant doesn't waive any of her rights today. I find just cause to adjourn. Based on really the proofs would be based on the non-appearance of the officer who's on leave right now. Do we have a date for when would be a framework so that we know that we could take testimony?
I've been told that he should be returning to duty on Monday. So if I could get maybe 2 weeks for subpoenas.
And then Mr. Palmer, pursuant to your request, this is a just cause hearing. This is a probable cause hearing for preliminary examination, but any witnesses you should have available to cross-examine in person.
Yes, sir.
So any witness who plans to testify should be in person. All right, we'll adjourn. Now let's see what's available in 2 weeks or so.
April 26th.
May 6th,
April 26th.
April 26th at 9 o'clock. Does that give you sufficient time for subpoenas?
It should, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Wheeler, you have not waived any rights today. This is a just cause adjournment. All your rights are intact. And further, any witnesses that are brought against you would have to be brought live for Mr. Palmer to be able to cross-examine. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything, so this is adjourned to April 26th at 9 a.m. Anything else for the record in 24-00200, Ms. Wilson?
Not from the people.
Mr. Palmer?
Not from the defense. Your
All
Honor.
right, that's all for the record in that file. We're adjourned till April 26th at 9 a.m.
I'll see you then, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Joanna, you can go ahead and log off and I'll be in touch with you next week like we talked about, okay? And then I think Mr. Roseberg.
All right, Mr. Woods. All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-00844. That is people of the state of Michigan versus David Roseberg. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Ms. Wanji.
Melanie Wanji from Mr. Rosberg.
And sir, you are David Roseberg, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is the time set for preliminary examination today. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. The people have not been able to make good contact with the victim in this matter. An officer was subpoenaed to be here today. I was texted by this officer late last night that he was at urgent care with some kind of bug and was ill and possibly contagious. So he is not here today. The people would be requesting his good cause adjournment.
Okay. That's one of the officers concerning the,
I believe that was Officer Candle Sagal.
Ms. Wanji.
Your Honor, my client, we are ready to do the preliminary exam today. So I would be requesting a dismissal without prejudice because of lack of probable cause.
Thank you. All right. It does appear that the officer with, and I leave the prosecutor for proper documentation, is unable to attend today. I don't want Mr. Roseberg to waive any rights in this matter concerning the adjournment. So I'll find good cause to adjourn based on the prosecutor's inability to be here because of a medical condition. And we will adjourn. Similarly, you need similarly all witnesses to be live, but is that the similar framework? So
Yes,
to about
yes,
2
Your Honor.
weeks for
Thank you.
subpoenas. Okay, so I find good cause to adjourn based on the FTA or the officer's medical condition. And we will reset for
April 26th at 9:30.
9:30. So this is reset for April 26th at 9:30. Mr. Roseberg, you've not waived any rights, all right? You still have all your rights intact. I found good cause to adjourn. We will reset at April 26th at 9 a.m. And any testimony would have to be live for Ms. Wanji to cross-examine. Okay, sir?
Oh, no.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 24-00844, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people. Thank
Ms.
you.
Wanji.
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're all set. We'll see you on April 26th, Mr. Roseberg.
All right.
And I believe we're ready on Mr. Gatlin.
So we're on the record in docket 24-00359. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Dominique Gadlin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson,
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good morning. Jared Austin appearing today on behalf of Mr. Gadlin. He's standing present to my right.
And sir, you are Dominique Gadlin, is that correct? Thank you. This is the time set for a preliminary examination today. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. My witness was here today. He was actually here for a case hearing in Judge Buchanan. Earlier this morning, he came in and informed me that his unit was called to an emergency all hands on deck call per his job duties. So I will be requesting an adjournment. I believe Mr. Gadlin has waived his 21 days previously.
Mr. Austin.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. That is correct as far as Mr. Gadlin waiving time. I understand the urgent situation that sounds like it just arose. With that being said, Your Honor, I would have no official position. I would just leave it at the discretion of the court.
All right. Was the defense, were you able to see the officer if he was here or not?
I just came into the courtroom a
Okay.
few moments ago,
Right.
Your Honor, from another courtroom,
just-
so I have not seen.
Well, based on the assistant prosecutor's representations, and then you can do your own investigation, but I have no reason not to believe that the officer had a commitment and an emergency commitment concerning his law enforcement duties. I would indicate that the waiver of the 21-day rule did take place on March 1st, 2024. So I will reschedule and adjourn. This preliminary examination. And we'll reset for
April 26th at
April 26th at 9 o'clock. This is reset for April 26th at 9 o'clock. Any witnesses would have to be live, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Gadlin, if this continues to be an issue, then we'll address it on April 26th, okay? But at this point in time, we've rescheduled for April 26th. Anything else for the record? 2400359, Ms. Wilson.
Everything, legal, thank you.
Mr. Austin.
Nothing additional, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Gadlin, you're all set. Mr. Carter, do we have to get Mr. Raines?
Yes.